The upcoming Ant-Man sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, has just had its first tracking numbers revealed, with industry analysts projecting that the film will hit a $75 million opening weekend. There are essentially two ways to look at this. On the one hand, a $75 million opening weekend would mark the fifth lowest opening weekend for a Marvel MCU film, ahead of only films like The Incredible Hulk, which opened with $55 million, the first Ant-Man movie, which opened with $57 million, Captain America, The First Avenger, that opened at $65 million, and the first Thor movie that opened at $65.7 million. However, the other way of looking at it is that a $75 million opening weekend would also represent a 30% improvement over the opening of the first Ant-Man film. That's incredible growth. We'll have to wait and see if Ant-Man and the Wasp opens to over or under the $75 million mark when it hits theaters on July the 6th. I am a big fan of the Ant-Man franchise so far. Obviously, I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet. I'm seeing that in a couple of weeks. But the first Ant-Man, I thought, just hit all the right notes. I loved Paul Rudd. I loved Michael Pena. I loved Michael Douglas. I just thought everybody in the film was terrific. It was funny, had some heartfelt stuff in it, and most importantly to somebody like me, it was a heist movie, and that's kind of where you get me in my soft spot, is the heist movie element of it. Now, there are going to be some people that look at a $75 million opening and go, what's wrong? I mean, you just had Avengers opened over 200 and something million. You just had Black Panther open to this huge number. Why is Ant-Man only coming in at 75? And I think there's a couple things we need to keep in mind here. Number one, this is Ant-Man. If it does open at $75 million, that's amazing. The other thing is this. There might be a little bit, just temporary, of MCU fatigue. I mean, look, Ant-Man will be the third MCU film to open in less than 5 months. In less than a 5-month window, you're talking about 3 MCU films all opening. Maybe there'll be a little bit of fatigue, maybe not, but Ant-Man's also one of their smaller characters. But again, I tend to look at it the other way. Considering that the first Ant-Man opened at $57 million, a 30% jump, that's pretty impressive. Now, we'll have to actually wait and see how the tracking holds up. We've seen some films get tracking numbers at this and actually come in at this. Then we've seen some tracking numbers at this, like Solo, and actually come in at this. So we'll have to see. But if it does come in around the $75 million mark, I actually think that's a win for Disney.